As the governorship election in Bayelsa State draws near, Governor Seriake Dixon has formally declared his intention to remain in office. The governor submitted his nomination at the People's Democratic Party Secretariat in Abuja amid singing and dancing by party faithful and supporters. He is convinced that the PDP will again clinch victory at the polls in December.
That's the outlook at the People's Democratic Party Secretariat as Governor Seriake Dixon arrives. He's here to confirm he's in the governorship race in Bayelsa State again by submitting his filled nomination form. The governor says he's not in doubt that victory is his come December.
Leaders of Bayelsa State, yes, those who have been making things happen politically and otherwise, right from the days of old river states, they are here. They are still in PDP, and they are determined and committed to ensure that PDP wins the general election again in December.
In spite of the overwhelming support shown the governor, the acting chairman of the party, Mr. Uche Secondus, insists that primaries will be conducted to choose a candidate in the Bayelsa governorship race. Governor Seriake Dixon is seeking re-election into office after his first term of 4 years.
Meanwhile, the Abia State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, sitting in Umuahia, has concluded trial on the matter between the petitioner, Dr. Alex Oti, and the first, second and third respondents, Dr. Okezie Ikpeazu, the People's Democratic Party and INEC. Following the opening and closing of the defense by the third respondent, INEC tendered the certified true copy of the Commission's Directory of Polling Units for Abia State without presenting any witness. The petitioner had earlier written to the tribunal citing inconsistencies in the signatures during collation from the ward to the local government areas, which according to the counsel to INEC is validated. Meanwhile, the chairman of the tribunal, Justice Usman Bwala, has given each party some days to write their submission and has fixed the 14th of October 2015 for adoption of written address and submission by all parties.
The case, as far as that is concerned, has been proved. So we have nothing else to do. And then come to think of it, what is collection? Collection is summation of results from the polling units to the ward to the local government. So anybody can do the summation as long as INEC duly appointed the person. We say that what the polling unit results constitute the base, the foundation. So as long as the ward result is in consonance with the base result, it doesn't matter who signed it.
The Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosun, is seeking adequate protection of the oil-rich Tongeji Island, lying between Ogun State in southwest Nigeria and the Republic of Benin, in order not to go the way of Bakassi Peninsula, ceded to the Republic of Cameroon. The governor made the call while playing host to the newly appointed General Officer commanding A-1 Division of the Nigerian Army, Major General Henry Edet, at the governor's office in Abeokuta. The governor, while reiterating the support of his administration for security agencies in the state, also commended them for the relative peace in the state, which he said has contributed in no small measure to the socio-economic and political development of the state. And now, tracking the report over the alleged contamination of aviation fuel, experts are divided on whether kerosene can actually fuel a flight. This comes on the heels of the allegations by a major oil marketer that household kerosene is being sold as Jet A-1 in Nigeria. Jet A-1, or aviation fuel, shares similar physical properties with household kerosene, and only a chemical test can properly identify each one. Our aviation correspondent, Bukola Joe Oketumbe, reports.
Various Jet A-1 marketers dot the landscape of the airport. But this is the joint users hydrant installation along the domestic airport road in Lagos. This is where the 5 major marketers use as a common pool for their jet A-1. Authorities here say they are not permitted to speak on behalf of the major marketers who use this facility, but they say there are 36 hydrants that supply jet A-1 to international flights, while the fuel for local flights are trucked on bowsers. The nature of fuel being dispensed from here and other depot has become a subject of contention. First, a letter written by the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority to the airline operators say a Lufthansa flight had traced problems with his engine to refueling in Nigeria, and a certain compound known as superabsorbent polymer had been found responsible. Experts say this compound forms a jelly-like substance on the filters and affects the engine. Another cause for concern is the allegation by foremost oil magnate Femi Otedola that household kerosene is being sold as jet A-1. Safety inspectors at the NCAA insist this is not possible, but another expert says it's not impossible.
It can, but it's not allowed. It's not advisable because it's going to wear out the engine and destroy your engine. So you don't allow it. The only thing we do or we check for is the water content, and that is the check the fuelers carry out for us before fueling.
I don't think so, because jet A-1 and kerosene, they have different specifications. So, and for jet A-1, they have some additives that is required to power a turbine engine that is not meant for kerosene.
While the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority insists that it has no proof that household kerosene is being sold in place of jet A-1, the danger in all of this is that there may just be an accident lurking in the corner. But above all, the effect on the economy, where Nigeria most probably becomes just a loading bay for passengers, and Accra in neighboring Ghana becomes a fueling point, and then their economy profits from that. Bukola Joketumbi, Channels Television News.
Time now for business news, and here's Loretta Chiogo.
You first. First Bank.
Welcome. Determining the direction of pension funds investment for infrastructure and real estate development will be the focal point of this year's World Pension Summit Africa Special. Now, this is coming from the Director General of the National Pension Commission, Dr. Chinelo Anohu Amazu. She explained that the second edition of the summit, which is billed for October the 5th to 6th in Abuja, will provide industry players the opportunity to strategize on micro-pension plans for Africa. The Pension Director General also noted that the inaugural edition of the summit, which held last year, has yielded a considerable level of fruition.
In the last year, we first of all managed to change the law to make this possible. And then we have done a series of engagements, especially with the Nigerian Labour Congress. And very shortly, the Commission is going to release guidelines for the participation of the informal sector. Part of what we're looking at in the Pension Summit, World Pension Summit in 2015, is to ensure that we have an in-depth discussion about the development of clear, secure investment vehicles for the pension funds towards infrastructure and real estate. Also, we realized from the last summit as well, and from the trends emerging globally, that the working population targeted, as it were, only in the formal sector. So we have developed a situation where we can talk about the micro-pension plan and its applicability to the contributory pension system, and indeed learn from all the other countries.
Director General of the National Pension Commission. A new face of service. That's what Fidelity Bank PLC unveiled today in Lagos at the rebranding of the bank's logo. The event, attended by various stakeholders, is an important milestone for Fidelity Bank, as the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the bank, Mr. Nnamdi Okonkwo, said that although Fidelity Bank now has a new identity, its zest and rich heritage of quality services remain. Our correspondent, Yomi Otaigwe, reports.
the headquarters of Fidelity Bank PLC. For over 27 years, the bank has rendered various commercial banking services. Today, a new dawn for Fidelity Bank. This hall is packed full of the bank's stakeholders who have come to witness the occasion of the casting aside of the bank's old garment and the new look. But how has the journey been so far?
The early days when we started our Savannah Bank building in Marina as the merchant bank, the conversion to commercial banking, and the merger with the former FSB International Bank and Money Bank, leading to the enlarged Fidelity Bank in December 2005, we can only say that we are full of gratitude to God.
After months of planning and strategizing, here comes the new logo of Fidelity Bank PLC. And the lapel pin switch ceremony. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the bank, Mr. Nnamdi Okonkwo, says the new look is not just outward, but a reflection of the bank's training, retraining and internal rebranding of members of staff and operations. It's also a way of connecting with every stakeholder, particularly the youths.
These are the people that if we don't appeal to them today, we will lose tomorrow. To the conservative, older, less risk-taking group, we will remain the Fidelity you knew. Even with a new look, we are Fidelity. We keep our word.
To wrap up the event, here's a fashion parade that signifies the new Fidelity Bank colors. Deep blue, which the management says represents the bank's solid background. Green for fertility and growth, while white stands for safety, purity, and a shining light. Yomi Otaigbe, reporting for Channels Television News.
Nigeria's interbank lending rates held steady at 8.25% on average this week. This is borne out of adequate naira liquidity after the central bank turned down borrowing at higher yields through its open market operations bills. The lender's balance with the central bank stood at 261 billion naira in credit. Well, the figure was boosted by about 114 billion in matured treasury bills. The secured open buyback, however, remained unchanged at 8%, and just like last week, the overnight placement was stable at the same level of 8.5%. Dealers hope to see higher rates next week as the central bank moves to tighten liquidity. Stock market indicators ended the last session of the week in the green zone. Investors' new entry into medium cap stocks paved the way for that improvement. Here's Bolaji Akinwale with details.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. Trading at the Nigeria Stock Exchange on Friday ended northward as investors make way for new entry in stocks with upside potentials. The all-share index appreciated 0.40% to close at 29,511.08 basis point, as the market capitalization ascended by the same margin to simmer at 10.14 trillion naira. The top gainers of the day include Unilever, which gained 2 naira 10 kobo, UAC appreciated by 1 naira 60 kobo, and Owando took the third place with a 90 kobo appreciation. Investors, however, took profit in more industrial stocks, as Guinness led the laggards with a 10 naira 63 kobo decline. Nestle is down 10 naira, while Better Glass slipped 2 naira 15 kobo. Access Bank, Fidelity Bank, and FBN Holdings were the most actively traded shares for the session. At the close of the trade, a total of 277.8 million shares were transacted for a value of 2.68 billion naira in 3,827 deals. And that is in the Stock Market Report. I am Bolaji Akinwale.
Thank you, Bolaji. Let's now take a look at trades at the global market. And that's it on Business News. I'm Loretta Chiogo. It's back to Bimbo for the rest of the news.
You first.